Welcome to the Explainer. So you're thinking about selling your home. The biggest question on your mind is probably, how do I get the absolute best price? Well, today we're going to break down the strategic improvements that actually give you the highest return on your investment. We're here to make sure you don't leave a single penny on the table. I mean, it's the question every single homeowner asks, right? It doesn't matter if your house is worth $500,000 or way more, the goal is always the same. You want to maximize your profit. And look, this isn't about just throwing a ton of money at it. It's about making smart, strategic moves that really, truly pay off. Okay, the best way to wrap your head around this is to think of it like an ROI pyramid. We're going to start at the very bottom with the super easy, essential stuff that gives you the biggest bang for your buck. Then we'll work our way up to the bigger investments, and I'll show you exactly where your money is best spent at every single level. All right, let's dive in. First up, we've got to lay the groundwork. Before you even think about any big renovations, these are the absolute must-do, high-impact steps that every single seller needs to tackle to get the best return. Okay, I want you to put yourself in a buyer's shoes for a second. When they walk through that door, you want them to instantly see their life unfolding. Their couch right there, their family photos on the wall. Your job is to give them a clean, blank canvas. And that all starts with a few absolutely essential tasks. Now, I know this whole process can feel, well, a little overwhelming. So let's break it down into 3 simple, manageable steps. First up, declutter. You got to get rid of the personal stuff, the extra furniture, anything that makes the space feel smaller. Next, deep clean. And I mean deep clean until everything just shines. And finally, a fresh coat of neutral paint is what ties the whole thing together. Look, I know you've always wanted that bold, dramatic accent wall, but now is not the time. Seriously, when you're selling, colors like white, beige, or a nice light gray, those are your absolute best friends. Why? Because they appeal to pretty much everyone, they make rooms feel way bigger and brighter, and they just instantly create this clean, modern vibe. All right, so the inside is prepped and looking good. Let's move up our pyramid to the next critical layer, first impressions. We're talking about that first glance, what a buyer sees the very moment they pull up to the curb. This is where you can make a huge, immediate, positive impact. It's a simple, powerful truth, really. Before a buyer even sets foot inside, they've already started forming an opinion about your house. And that is why boosting your home's curb appeal is one of the single most cost-effective things you can do to set a great tone for the entire visit. And hey, this doesn't have to break the bank. We're talking about simple stuff here. Trimming those overgrown bushes, throwing down some fresh mulch, boom, you've got a way more inviting vibe. A freshly painted front door that can literally modernize the entire look of the house. And power washing away all that built-up grime just makes everything look crisp and brand new. Okay, so once they're inside, staging becomes your secret weapon. When you carefully arrange the furniture and use some nice, neutral decor to really highlight your home's best features, what you're doing is helping buyers make that crucial emotional connection. You're not just selling a house anymore. You're selling a lifestyle they can actually picture themselves living. All right, now let's get to the real heart of the home, both literally and financially. I'm talking about the kitchen and the bathrooms. These are what we call the money rooms. And trust me, it's where buyers look the closest, and it's where smart upgrades can deliver a massive payoff. You've heard the old saying, right? Kitchens sell houses. It's true, but here's the secret nobody tells you. You do not need a full, down-to-the-studs gut renovation. That's crazy expensive, and you almost never get all your money back. The real key is making strategic, budget-friendly upgrades that completely transform how a buyer sees the space. So think about it. Instead of tearing out all the cabinets, which costs a fortune, why not just paint or refinish the ones you have? Swap out that dated hardware for something modern and sleek. Update the light fixtures. These are all cosmetic changes, but they create the feeling of a brand new kitchen for like a tiny fraction of the cost. And you know what? The exact same logic applies to the bathroom. The goal here is to create a clean, fresh, kind of spa-like feeling. You'd be amazed what replacing old faucets and shower heads with some sleek, modern designs can do. It's an immediate impact. And please don't forget the small stuff, fresh caulking and clean grout. It sends a powerful signal to a buyer that you've really taken care of the place. Okay, we've made it to the very peak of our pyramid. We're talking about the larger, more structural investments now.
Yeah, these definitely require a bigger budget, but they tackle some of the biggest concerns buyers have, and they can deliver a really significant return by making your home the one that truly stands out.
Just think about what gives a modern buyer real peace of mind. Smart tech, like a Nest thermostat, that says convenient modern home. New energy-efficient windows, that screams lower utility bills. And those really big-ticket items like brand new flooring, or even bigger, a new roof, those are massive selling points. Why? Because they take away a buyer's number one fear, having to deal with a huge, unexpected repair right after they move in.
Okay, last but definitely not least. After all this amazing work, we need to talk about what not to do. Seriously, avoiding these common traps is just as important as making the right improvements. This is all about protecting your investment and making sure you don't accidentally undo all your hard work.
And this is a really big one. You might absolutely love that funky pattern tile or that one-of-a-kind color, but your goal right now is to appeal to the widest audience you possibly can. So you've got to stick to neutral, classic designs that let buyers imagine their own style in the space. You have to remember, you can't renovate your way into a completely different price bracket. It is so important to know what the ceiling is for home values in your neighborhood. You've got to be careful not to sink so much money into it that you accidentally price your home right out of the local market. This is where a good real estate agent is worth their weight in gold, by the way.
And right on that point, you've got to do your homework. You need to understand what buyers in your specific area actually care about. Are they mostly young families who would absolutely love a finished basement? Or maybe they're more eco-conscious and they're looking for energy-efficient features. When you focus your upgrades on what people are actually looking for, you're meeting real demand.
So when you boil it all down, what's the big takeaway here? Getting top dollar for your home is not about who spends the most money. Not at all. It's about making smart, strategic, informed choices that improve the way your home looks, the way it feels, and the way it functions, in ways that buyers actually care about. So right now, I want you to take a look at your own home. Just think, what's the number one change you could make that would totally transform its value? Whether it's something simple like decluttering and a fresh coat of paint, or a smart update in the kitchen, that first right step can make all the difference. If you follow this pyramid, starting with that solid foundation and working your way up to the high ROI investments, you'll be well on your way to a super successful and profitable sale.